Good morning. It is we're here at the Melbourne Showgrounds, and we're here at MasterChef Kitchen. It's the beginning of the big launch day. There are trucks everywhere, and we're at the front of the actual building, and you can see around me we've got fantastic herbs everywhere. Every herb you can imagine. Some beautiful lettuce over to my left there, some gorgeous chili, and this is just setting the scene for what is a terrific journey we're going to take inside the MasterChef Kitchen. This year, MasterChef starts with 22 contestants. It's not going to be all the weeks and weeks of eliminating people. 22 contestants from all over Australia. And behind me you can see all of this incredible amount of equipment that they'll be using each day. From food processors, up the back colanders, chopping boards, all fry pans, all sorts of things. And they're here in bulk. As usual, it didn't take me long to find my way to where the grog is. Now this is the lounge, the back wall of the lounge area. As you're watching MasterChef in the coming weeks, you'll see all the contestants sitting in here waiting to face the judges. We're here in the pantry of the MasterChef kitchen, and just by chance we find us, and hello to Matt, to Gary and to George, but you've noticed something.
Well, I think it's really important for everyone to notice that none of these bottles have been opened. They're purely for display, apart from, I just noticed, apart from one, which is the Ouzo, and strangely that bottle has been opened and you can see someone's been drunk. Now, I don't know where I point the finger.
I confess.
No, the thing is, you could fill that back up with just
And no one
tap
would
water with no.
Well, George does. No one does that.
George, you've lost so much weight, and I found
Ouzo,
it.
that's the key.
Is that the key?
That's the.
Now, come on, tell them the
key to
truth. Come on,
success.
spill the beans.
Spill the bean. I got a lap band surgery.
Oh!
No, actually, I'll give you the truth. No, I eat and Gary and Matt stick a feather down one throat. No, we can't do that.
That's three versions that is just utter lies. Tell them the truth.
Just good
He
food.
set the good example.
And a little bit of exercise.
Well, you're terrific.
Thank you.
Now tell us about this series. You've got 22. There's none of the 50 or 100 or whatever number there was before. You start with 22, and you actually just turned up at their joint. And
Yeah, we travel around the country and we did this really mean thing of just knocking on the door, and they opened up expecting to see maybe a producer there or someone for that final interview, and the final interview was the three of us in their house in Port Hedland or Leonard's Head or wherever we were, and it was great because we get to meet them, we get to meet all their family, the kids at me,
The cookbooks they read.
we see the cookbooks they read, the fridge,
Open
what's
their
in there.
pantry, see what's in there.
what sort of reaction did you get? Because that puts them under pressure.
Puts them under enormous amount of pressure, but let's face it, if they're going to get into the MasterChef kitchen, it's all about pressure. Because when we look back on all those ridiculous challenges to people, that was so easy. The pie challenge, I can make a pie, I should be on MasterChef. And people underestimate, and the contestants underestimate every year what pressure does to you. Time and task pressure.
And I think
It's a great unsettler.
I think the thing, when you open the door and the three of us are standing there, the first reaction is, oh, that's so exciting. And then about a minute and a half later, when they're in the kitchen,
hard reality.
the cold hard reality, they're going to have to cook, and we're going to have to cook with Matt, George and Gary. And it's sort of like ripping the sticking plaster off. But the great thing is when they come here, they've already cooked for us.
Yeah.
So in a way, it removes one of those really big fears.
Do you know what it is? I mean, when Gary and I went over to Matt's house for dinner.
No, you wouldn't. No,
we haven't been over.
Oh,
Doesn't
no,
he
we haven't
make
been over for dinner.
Marco is in
Marco Pierre White went over
We've
for
been
dinner.
working with this guy for how long have we known him?
You know what he does?
What?
12 years. Have you been around for dinner?
No.
Haven't you?
I'm told he cooks the same thing every time.
That's right.
Not for Marco, he planned that menu,
Yeah,
he put a lot of
he worked
effort
on
in.
it.
He invited his closest friends.
Closest friends.
That's right.
And Marco
That's
said
right.
it was brilliant.
Yeah, and it was brilliant. Yeah, Marco said it was brilliant. I know, amazing.
Oh, Marco enjoyed it.
Yeah.
So after all these years, you two still
He's
haven't...
never cooked for us.
No.
Never been around
But
to his
how would you feel about having Georgie?
I can't get through the gates. Has he got that? He's got that security system.
If it's okay to do it to someone at Port Hedland, I think you can handle it.
I don't know, but I think we treat our privacy very very carefully. Obviously, I've been around to George's house, but only outside. He doesn't actually know it is to manage him tour out.
He's in a cheeky, George's in a cheeky mood.
Oh yeah, right.
Back on scripts. So
I'm excited
there
about
is no
this.
script.
Masterclass. Have you heard about this year's masterclass?
No.
Totally different. Matt's in the kitchen, which is fantastic because what's nice is Matt puts a.
Cheats and layers.
Yeah, but I'd say, you know what? All you need is a bowl of whisk and a spoon, which is nice for the viewer at home, you know, because not everyone's got all the machinery that we
Thermomix or
love to use.
or a freeze dryer.
You've got live audience this time around, which
Yeah.
is so much fun because we get the energy off them and it sort of works really well. It's a
And a take-home component of every single thing we do.
everything.
Which is great.
I think that's something that's across the whole of the series. Is there's a lot more of the food is achievable stuff you're going to want to cook for the weekend. And whether that's in masterclass, Gary doing a recipe that's the perfect recipe to cook for the weekend. I think also the other thing, and this comes across masterclass and also across the whole series, is we're spending a lot more time together. So there's a lot more of us. And masterclass is us mucking around, really. You know, taking off the judges' hats and having fun with what we love, which is food. And I think there's probably more humour in this series, and we're a bit more relaxed with everything. We're home in Melbourne. Why else would we?
You're close to your own restaurants.
Yeah,
You're all
we
close to
are,
everything.
yeah.
to
I
do.
mean, it's kind of we got used to. I mean, it's been filmed in Sydney for 4 years, so all of a sudden, you know, we've gone from getting in a plane every single week, you know, backwards and forwards, to being able to jump in your car, nip to your local cafe on the way to work, whether it's here or whether it's at a
And
restaurant.
that's a
which is
totally
lovely.
different vibe from
goodness.
a
Well, it's great.
My
Yesterday, in
goodness,
between our break, we popped to the boathouse and we made sure we put Gary facing us so he didn't look out and, you know, he's stuck and upset
he's
about
still stressed
stuff.
then, isn't
And
he?
he's already smelling like that. And when you straight away,
Just
can
right
you
tonight.
just put your phone
That's
down?
okay.
But that's okay.
And I went back in the evening and just, you know, told them off.
I knew it. But you know what's lovely about this
Maybe
series
he's too
also?
close to it.
In series 1, 2, 3, we've been, you know, you walk past the building site and the big burly blokes were talking about crop and bush and talking about, you know, you go to the schools and kids are talking about plating up. I think this year we've identified that, we've had a bit of an impact in terms of statements. This year we're going to make some real political statements that mean something to us and mean something to food here in the country, and that will be punctuated throughout the series.
Beautiful. Look, it's lovely to see you all. Good luck this year. Lots of people are already very excited. 3AW listeners love their
We're
food,
excited.
as we all know. That's where you started.
That's it.
Well,
That's
not
it.
quite.
Did you start, man?
I started on radio.
Did you take them any food?
No, and I still wasn't invited around for dinner.
All right, okay, you can walk around and dinner. All right, I'll just pick up some things on these. You're going to finish off.
Excellent.
He's never going to invite us around for dinner.
No, but at least we've got it on camera.